Neacsu at Real Talks, and before the next episode starts, just want to give an answer to a lot of people who are asking me, what software do I use to uh, to create my podcast? And the platform that I use is Anchor.fm. It's absolutely free. It has a huge reach, so it'll actually reach out to Apple, it'll reach out to Google, and it'll reach out to Spotify and other platforms. So those platforms pick up your podcast, so you have maximum exposure to anybody who is interested in listening to your podcast. As well, if you're absolutely lucky, there will be companies that will reach out to you and might want to sponsor your podcast. You might get paid for something that you love to do. So if you are interested in starting your own podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And here we go to the next episode, and thank you for your time. Welcome to Real Talks, the Realtor Life. This is where we talk to real agents about their story and their journey in real estate. We'll discuss their beginnings, their struggles, and their ultimate successes. We peel back the layers and deliver a behind-the-scenes conversation that you, the listener, can find inspiration. My name is Nick Neacsu. My intention is to share the authentic realtor life. Hi, this is Nick Neacsu. I'm here with Real Talks, the Realtor Life, and I'm here with Mike Marfori for episode 7, and I'm so happy to have Mike on the show.
Thank you.
He's definitely a top producer, and he's gone from the beginning to where he's at right now in a very short period of time, and he's basically risen to the top in his market. And Mike, thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course, Nick. Love to be here.
Perfect. So right off the gate, you're everywhere in your market. You're everywhere. You drive around in that sort of describe your market, and you see your face, and that's sort of what you're. Obviously, this is planned out. This isn't just a coincidence, correct?
Right. No. Yeah. Absolutely.
So introduce yourself. Tell us about how many years you've been in the business.
Okay.
And talk about the market that you focus on.
Absolutely. So my name is Mike Marfori. My agency that I'm with is Sutton Premier Realty. It's based out in Surrey. I've been in the business. This is my 8th year of real estate, and I specialize in helping families move in and out of the Surrey area, predominantly in Fleetwood, Guildford, and South Surrey.
Fantastic. And how long have you been an agent for?
I've been an agent for 8 years now.
8 years.
Yes.
Great. So obviously where you're at now didn't happen overnight.
No. There's a story.
There's a great story. That's I only know a little bit of the story, but I really want you to get into it because you have a lot of admirers out there. And when I promoted this podcast episode, I had so many DMs about agents that wanted just to hear your story. Because they know you from Instagram mainly. They know you from advertising in that Surrey area, but they also know you get followers, I think, naturally from the toys that you own as well, right?
Toys, yeah.
So tell me, let's start from the very, very beginning. You're just licensed, or let's say actually before that, why did you become a realtor? Why did you want to become a realtor?
So, long story. I'll tell you how it all started. I was at my uncle's house, age 23, and I saw the toys he had, how he was living in a beautiful home. Right. And I just went up to him and I said, "Uncle, I love your home, love your cars. What do you do?" He said, "Real estate," right from the get-go. And I've always been thinking about getting into real estate ever since I bought my first home when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
So I bought my first condo at 19. Didn't tell my family, didn't tell my parents, because as a Filipino, my background, my parents, they don't want me to move out. It's kind of a traditional kind of platform, right? So kind of did it without telling them, bought my first place, and they were very unhappy about that, but I knew that this is a decision I wanted.
So let's go back in time little bit more. So what were you doing to save enough money to buy a place? So
I sold cars for 6 years at Surrey Honda.
Really?
Yeah. So Surrey Honda is located 152 Fraser Highway, selling Hondas, and I was like, I've always loved being in sales. Before that, I was selling telephones from Fido, Rogers, wireless wave, right? So
Right.
selling phones. I loved helping people getting into their unlimited plans, right? So,
right. You're the
yeah.
third person on this podcast
Right.
that was in the cell phone business. Just,
Wow.
I don't know if
Wow.
there's continuity with that or if it's coincidence,
right?
but
Okay.
I think it just is you're programming yourself at a young age to hustle and sell.
Yeah, definitely.
So you bought your first condo at 19, and
Yes.
then you told your parents when?
A few months after I bought it, I arranged dinner to be made, and I just invited them over. I said, hey, listen, I want to take you somewhere a really special place.
Right.
And I had dinner prepared, and they're like, whose place is this? I'm like, it's mine.
That's so
So they were like blown away, surprised, shocked at the same time, but, I think they were happy.
Right. Wow. So you're doing well, obviously, when you're 19. I mean, you're obviously ahead of the curve. Then you obviously wanted more than just a car salesman job, because you kind of get capped at your income. You can only sell so many cars, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So then you switch into real estate, and let me guess, you were just as soon as you got your license, you were just killing it.
No, absolutely not. No, I wish I was. They don't tell you when you first get your license how much it actually costs. Mm-hmm. The costs that are involved starting your own business is astronomical. They don't tell you that, and I wish they did, because it's funny. I started at age 24, making that transition from the car business to real estate, not knowing that, hey, you have to get this, you have to get that, website, business cards, list goes on. They don't tell you how to prospect and lead generate, which is the number one thing, right? So, I started when I was age 24, and the first 6 months of real estate, I wasn't able to sell one house. And me coming from the number one car salesman at Surrey Honda, I made that transition thinking, oh, this is all hunky-dory. I'm going to sell millions of dollars of real estate. Nope, fell flat on my butt. In fact, right when I got into business, I lost my house. I lost my condo.
Wow.
I lost my car. And, everything happens in threes. And unfortunately, my dog had cancer, lost him.
Sorry to hear that.
No. And, that's part of life. You fall really quick, but, you got to get back up. It's how you get back up, right? So it's funny. I one night I was in bed and I was thinking, okay, so depressed. Like got my license, 6 months, not selling one home.
Right.
I went on YouTube, put on a movie called The Secret. The book?
Yeah.
Changed my life forever. Changed my life. And I was thinking, here I am thinking about debt. Because I was literally, Nick, I was $60,000 in debt with Visas, MasterCards. You wouldn't believe it. Living back at home. So mind you, I forgot to tell you, once I lost all that, my parents were very fortunate to say, hey, listen, you can live back home.
Yeah.
And, there were times where, I was single at the time, so I'd take a girl out on a date, and I didn't have enough money to pay for dinner, literally.
Yeah.
So it's a humbling moment, when I look back at that.
So Lisa Nichols is one of the authors of The Secret. I've met her before. She is an incredible woman. You need to get to Awesomeness Fest.
Yes.
And meet her.
Yeah.
She's incredible. But just because if she changed your life, you need to talk to her, and she's
Certainly.
open.
Love it.
But moving forward, so you're sleeping at your parents.
Sleeping at the parents' house.
And our stories are very similar. I was doing the same thing. I had one sale after 6 months, sold a $190,000 condo, and in debt, sleeping on my mom's couch. But so it's very similar. But the commonality here is this: what it's like to fail now. It's familiar.
Definitely.
You know what the bottom feels like.
Definitely.
Right? So you can only go up from there.
Certainly. And that's exactly what was going through my mind. And funny enough, so going back through that, the first 6 months didn't make a sale. I had to make money. Guess where I went? I went to Future Shop, got a job selling cell phones. Okay?
Wow.
While I was a licensed real estate agent to make my dream come true in real estate. So it was December, very busy month, and I remember one of my clients seeing me, and I was so embarrassed. He came to me and said, Mike, what are you doing here? And I'm like, it's a slower month, and it was a very humbling moment. I told him the truth. I'm working here, And after that month of December, I told myself I'm never ever going to do this again. I'm going to quit. And I quit after 1 month of Future Shop, and invested that money into my business, and I went all in. The first thing that I did changed my life. January of 2012 changed my life, and what I did, I saw a mentor that in my office that I said, I want to represent my business. I want to be like this guy. I want to sound like him when I'm in front of my clients. That's how I want to represent my business.
Wow.
His name is Chris Shields.
Okay.
Fantastic gentleman, well-spoken, very articulate, and very great with clients. And I said to him, you need to hire me on your team, and here's why. So I took him out for lunch, blown him away, and next thing you know, he hires me. And that was the best thing that I ever done.
Right. So you found a mentor.
Yes.
It's commonality. People just do what all successful agents do. Find a mentor. You can't do it yourself.
Yes. To be the best, you got to be with the best.
You have to swim with the best, right?
Swim with the best.
And learn. So you learned from Chris
Shields.
Chris Shields.
Yeah.
And so you're still in debt.
Still in debt. Yeah.
So this mentorship gave you guidance. You had your vision, but you didn't know how to get there.
That's right.
Right. So you changed your state of mind.
Changed my state of mind, and it gave me a different perspective in a way that he educated me through all aspects of real estate. So I had tools in my toolkit, but I didn't know how to use it.
Right. So you didn't have a plan.
Didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have your vision. You have your motivation.
Yes.
That was created by desperation, obviously.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
then
right.
you have which is probably the most powerful motivation you can have, because it's survival. If you can't make it,
yes,
you're not going to survive.
That's right.
Survival instinct. And then so you have your action plan that was created with Chris, your mentor.
Yes.
And then now you could see your vision more clearly, because you know how to get there.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow.
And I had a vision board. Like, I had it all planned out.
Yeah.
A Ferrari, the Lamborghini, the houses, I should say. I've always wanted to have, the downtown condo while still be in my farm area.
Right.
And that was very important for me.
Right.
And travel,
So was this year 2 now? Are you in year 2 at this point?
Yeah, going into year 2. So that
Right.
was still the first year of real estate. That's
Right.
about 8 months into it.
Yeah.
My first sale, like I remember like it was yesterday, was from social media, from Facebook. It was actually,
No kidding.
Yeah. It was actually someone I went to school with and said, hey, I have an uncle that's thinking about making the move. Can you help him? And I said, certainly. It's in White Rock condominium, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. I went in there with my mentor, of course.
Yeah.
And he knew right from the get-go, the selling feature is the outdoor patio. Everything, all entertainment space, 1,000 square foot patio. This is where this is the selling feature.
Right.
So my mentor went up to me and said, are you willing and ready to sell this home? I said, yeah, absolutely. Doesn't matter, whatever it takes.
Right.
Guess what I did?
What do you do?
I put a suit on.
Yeah.
Not like any kind of suit, a commercial suit, and I power washed the balcony. It took me 6
Wow.
hours, and I did it for free, because I told not only my mentor, but I promised my seller, I'm willing to work. I don't care. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to sell this home.
Yeah.
And he was blown away. He was blown away. I did it. That home took me about 36 days to sell, but I got it done.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow. So one home sold, and we're gonna jump to today for a split
Sure.
second.
Okay.
How many homes have you sold? Would you
my
say?
total career,
Yeah.
1,033.
So you count.
I've counted.
I look at your website.
I have a
you count.
counter. I count, absolutely. You know what? If you don't know exactly the number of homes that you're selling, and you know what's funny? I have a lot of followers, not only followers, but clients, and they always want to know, hey, Mike, how's the real estate? How are you doing?
Right.
But guess what? Go on my website and you can find that out. It's public knowledge.
It's public knowledge.
Right? And I want everybody to know that in a good or bad market, I always like to say, Nick, cream rises to the top.
Absolutely.
Right.
They do. I mean, they make excuses. I mean, in a tough market, it is hard. That's what they call a tough market. But if you give up, you're not going to sell anything.
That's right.
You have to work harder to create the results.
You just
never stop.
Never give up.
Never give up. That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right. So we talked about your low point. Your turning point was obviously your mentorship. But
for sure.
So then, at what point did you move away from your mentor to your own business, which you have today?
So after about a year, I want to say a year and 3 months, 3 year and 4 months, around there is where I transitioned into the bigger picture, where I was saying, you know what, I want to start my own company. I want to start my own business. And what's important for me, just like I purchased my first home when I was 19, was the experience. That was, to me, I wanted to create that curated experience for my clients. And it's funny when I speak with you, Nick, we have a lot in common where we like to wear suits.
Mm-hmm.
I love dressing up to the occasion because this is the most important thing that they're ever going to purchase by the end of the day, right? So we got to make it special. And I love that how you, DJ, and the team do that. You guys are well dressed. So
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just being a professional, right? Just taking our industry to the next level.
Yes.
And our industry, I mean, I don't know everybody who's listening knows, but we don't have the best reputation.
That's right.
And it's unfortunately a couple bad apples have caused, I don't know what the saying would be. I don't know. Ruin the tree. I don't know.
That's
no,
right.
But innovation and the next generation, or even it doesn't even have to be the next generation. The people who are in the business now who want to improve the business and are authentically trying to make it better, will make it better, and we will recover that reputation. And you do the same, and your marketing shows it. Like, you care about your marketing, you're strategic about it.
Very.
I mean, you care about your clients as well. You have a team now of how many people?
I have a team of 6, including myself, that are licensed agents, and 2 admin staff.
Right.
And kudos to my team, seriously. Marfori Group, they are the best. And without them, this is not possible.
Yeah, there's no way you could do the volume that you're doing. You're over 200 units, right, a year.
Given the way the market is, we're not going to hit 200 this year. My goal is for 180.
Right.
But the nice thing is the dollar volume is, we're very fortunate with that. We're breaking in where no one has ever broken in. So
right.
We're really doing awesome.
Your average transaction price up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to innovate from volume to increasing your average transaction by 20 or 30%. Same amount of work, but more income for the team.
Smarter and all harder, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have your own. So you're 2.5 years in, 3 years in when you start your own business. So how did you do that? Were you just the lone wolf at that time?
So my background, I went to school for marketing in Quality College, and I'm not the smartest cookie. I hate school, Nick, but I'm street smart. So I was always thinking about how am I going to make myself different than 17,000 plus realtors in BC.
Mm-hmm.
There's other agents that have been in the business longer than I have with much more experience. I wanted to market myself and really create some waves in the real estate market. So, progressing when my real estate career was just, getting better and better every year, that's when I started investing 35%, which is huge chunk.
Huge chunk.
Huge chunk. My mentor was always telling me, you got to put away 50%,
right.
20% max. I was doing almost double that.
80-20, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So, at the time, for me, because I was living at home, I was very complacent. I'm saying, I got to get a high risk, high reward kind of thing, right? So, and each sale, I would purchase one bus bench. I remember my first bus bench that I ever purchased was on 168 and Fraser Highway. That's in the heart of my farm area,
right,
called Fleetwood.
Yeah.
And there's about 15,000 homes in and around that. That's including condos, townhomes, single family. And after I put that bus bench, I created a flyer just saying, hey, I'm the Fleetwood expert. Like, I'm the Fleetwood guy.
Right.
And next thing you know, I'm door knocking every single day.
Fantastic.
Open houses like you wouldn't believe. So I want to tell you, whoever's listening to this, that's real estate agents. Number one, open houses are absolutely gold.
King.
If you're not doing open houses, you are not working. This is an opportunity for you to sit down and for clients to open the door and say, I want to purchase or sell real estate. Literally.
You're opening up your store.
Yes.
And you don't have to share it, but I'm going to lead into it. You don't just do open houses. You are strategically doing multiple open houses a week, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So one of the big things that I carried out, and a lot of real estate agents don't do, is working during the week. What I mean by that is strategically doing open houses when people are just about to pick up their kids from school or even after. So perhaps think about when you can strategically get to talk to clients. Maybe after 5 o'clock. Like, I saw you guys do that, and I love how you guys do that. The evening open houses.
We do the we have, most people are closed after 4.
Right.
But we're competing against 80 open houses.
Yeah.
We do the 4 to 5. We're the only ones, and we get busy.
I love it.
4 to 5. So
it's so smart.
And the time to set up for an open house, you're spending 2 hours of your day preparing for the open house.
Yes.
And you're open for 2 hours. Why not open that extra third hour?
You're right.
Why?
You're not wrong. And you know what's different? More value to the clients.
And you think about it.
So.
If you're open for 50% longer, and you say you have to be open for 1,000 hours to build a business, well, you're just going to decrease that time frame by 50%.
Wow.
It's the truth.
I'm taking a page out of that.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm going to do that. That's awesome.
But I'm taking pages out of.
No.
I'm basically emulating now, Mike, because you're doing something right. But yeah, be creative. Go against the grain.
You got it. Think outside the box. Innovate. Yeah. Absolutely.
So how many? So this is an outstanding number, but I'm going to ask you. Sure. I know the answer, but how many bus ads do you have?
Okay, so I invested into bus benches, bus shelters, and bus tails.
Right.
So any kind of moving transit or transit,
right.
I have. So 109.
109.
109.
109.
And that is the army of Mike Marfori. 109.
Wow. And do you still buy more?
Absolutely. It's funny that you asked that. In a downward market where everybody's trying to save their money and going, you want to push even harder. This is an opportunity for you to rise to the occasion. And I mean, let's be real here. It has to make sense. If it doesn't make dollars, it don't make sense, right?
That's right.
So, you got to look at your overall income and say, does it make sense?
Right.
And go from there. But every business is different, right?
Yeah.
So
the other creative things that you do, and people in your or agents that are in your farm area probably see it all the time. You are in front of movie theaters.
Right.
You are in schools.
We're at shopping carts.
Shopping carts.
Yeah. Notepads, flyers, you name it. We're giving scholarships in elementary schools, in high schools. We get in front of people everywhere. And you know what? It's one of those things where I like to say Conor McGregor's line. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. It's guerrilla marketing at its finest, right? You really want to be in front of people. And that's basically it. Nike, McDonald's, we know. We see it every day.
Yeah.
So.
It's consistent branding throughout.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So So what keeps you motivated every day to do what you do? Because you're doing well. I mean, you could take the pedal off the metal and just have a really great business, but you're competitive, obviously.
Yes.
And you still want to grow. So very, yeah. So what's your motivation moving forward?
My passion comes, I know it sounds cheesy, but actually helping, really seeing the overall experience when clients smile, giving those keys on possession date. It's so fulfilling to see and help clients, just their expression once they sell their home, or purchase. And that really pushes me. But the overall experience for me is why I do what I do. I get up every day like clockwork at 5 a.m. and I start my day.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I would suggest if you're a new agent, you want to start off your day before anybody else does. That's how you're going to get ahead. Seriously, mentally, you're focused by 7 a.m. I know, Nick, you do that.
I'm up. I get up. And sometimes you slip because you had a late night. But if you have to get up and energize yourself to get to work, especially if you're running a team.
Yes.
Because you have to lead by example. The captain sets the pace.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah. So you want to grow? You do 180 deals this year.
Yeah.
You're numbers driven. Where do you want to see your team grow to per transactions per year?
We want to do at least 500.
Wow.
So last year we were very fortunate to sell over 150 million.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big number.
Big numbers.
But we want to do, and that was 221 homes.
Okay.
So if we do double, I know the blueprint, Nick, and it's just tweaking a few things here and there.
Yeah.
Right. And, I'm always looking for talented real estate agents that are willing to work hard and be in a great atmosphere, by the end of the day. We opened up a new real estate office just a couple of months ago in South Surrey, and whoever's on this podcast, give me a call, shoot me a text. I'd love for you guys to check out the Marfori Group's office. You guys are always welcome.
Yeah.
Always.
But if you're going to join the team,
yes,
you're looking for people to emulate what you do. You want driven, self-motivated individuals. That are cut from the same thread.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's, as you know, Nick, it's few far in between. It's very hard to find very, very talented agents out there.
Yeah.
And I know how big is your team, Nick?
We have a group of 6 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
excellent.
And there is a learning curve. I mean, you don't just jump in and succeed. You have to go through your struggles.
Yes.
You have to.
That's
the law of the universe, I guess. I don't know, but
certainly.
But it takes time. But now, after about a year or so, it's a common thread. They start to produce and gain success and learn. Always learn, right?
Always.
But
yeah.
But I mean, if you're an agent out there and you're by yourself and you're not alone, you just need the right people to show you the way.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
And guidance. And and don't worry about the money, it'll come. My mentor always told me half a paycheck's better than nothing. And if
you're absolutely right.
Do not worry about the money. If you're commission driven, you're done. Think about just learn and get paid to learn.
And time, as you know, Nick, it's the most expensive currency.
Right.
It is. Because I tell everybody, you're going to be learning. And learning is like, even talking to you, every single time I talk to you, I learn something from you or DJ or anybody that I talk to. It's just one of those things. We're a sponge for knowledge, and every day we're constantly learning. That's why I think we love our job. Right?
Oh yeah, I'm taking that quote. That time is the most expensive currency because it's the truth. When you get somebody who's willing to invest their time into you, just act like a sponge and take it in.
Yes.
And don't take it for granted.
That's right.
That's right. So let's see here. So I have a question that I ask every agent that's on the show.
Okay.
It goes, okay, what single piece of advice would you give your younger self on day one of starting your own business in real estate?
what did I tell myself? Well, I would have had a mentor a lot quicker. You know, I would have had that mentality in saying, you know, I need to learn from an experience, not only an experience, but someone I want to emulate and become like and sound like and represent like, you know, and make it my own. Had I done that, I would have not wasted 7 months of my life. You know, and that 7 months to me was very precious. But mind you, you and I started about the same time, right, Nick?
Yeah, we did.
And we didn't start in the best market.
No.
It was actually one of the slowest market, kind of reminiscent to it is today.
That's correct.
So, you know, when you start at a time like that, it helps you grow your skills. It really helps you really nourish and become a very patent real estate agent.
That's right. Wow, that's great advice. Yeah, mentorship is key in this business, people. Find yourself a good mentor. And, you know, in being a mentor to a few agents now, you know, in my perspective, people going out and use our brand, trying to build our business, and it's a win-win.
It is.
So you will, if you're hungry and you go and convince, you know, a top agent that you want to work for them and spread their brand, you know, and you'll collect whatever the split is. It's a huge opportunity for both you and that mentor.
Yes, I agree.
Great. Is there anything else that you want to tell these folks that you know, bits of advice or, you know, to get to the top, or just
work your ass off, you know?
Right? Yeah.
There's no secret. When people say, hey, how do you do it? I just say, you know, you got to just put your time in, work your butt off, and have fun. You know, do it with a smile and be passionate. Because I love, like, when I have a very understanding girlfriend, Pamela's awesome, and she understands, like, even when I get home from a long day, 12, 14-hour day, I'm still on the phone at 10:30, still closing that deal. And she understands. She looks at me, she smiles. You're at it again, aren't you? Well, she understands. And having that, you know, foundation really, really helps.
So having that partner,
yes,
when you're in a relationship,
yes,
who supports rather than fights what your dreams and aspirations are is key.
It's everything.
Wow.
It's everything, for sure.
There we go. We can talk about real estate relationships all day long, but we're not going to, and that's for a different podcast. Okay, Mike, thank you so much for being on the show, guys. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have you've taken away some key points here for your own business, and have a great day. Thank you so much.
Cheers.